AITA for not defending my friend when his expensive new clothes got ruined. I am not Oop. Oop is you. Throwaway cloths drama. She posted in r, am I the asshole? Fun fact to cover up spoilers. Since this post is about Holi, I tried to find some fun facts about the holiday. Apologies if I misunderstood something. Holi is a Hindu holiday, but over the years has become a popular holiday event celebrated by people all over the world and of different faiths and nationalities. Holi celebrates the beginning of spring and the idea of good triumphing over evil. All of the colors of powder have different meanings. Trigger warning. Racism. Less than. Mood spoiler. The truth is revealed. Less than. Original post. March 8, 2023. I, 23F. Live in India and had a friend. 24 meters. Let's call him Joe, visiting from New York this week. Today was Holi, which is a massive festival in India where people douse each other in color and water to celebrate. It's also fairly accepted that anyone is fair game on Holi. Whether you're throwing water balloons from your balcony or chucking color from the street, people douse random strangers and everyone enjoys it. Joe had another friend living in my city who invited him and me on Holi to show Joe a proper Holi celebration. We both got ready in the morning. I was wearing an old nightsuit and Joe had dressed up in a newly bought very expensive looking kurta. He gave me a very judgmental look and asked whether it was appropriate for me to go to his friend's party dressed in old ragged clothes, especially when his friend had said it would be a proper party. I laughed and explained that not only were we going for a Holi party, but we would also have to walk on foot to reach the friend's house, and whatever clothes we were wearing were bound to get ruined. Joe still looked a bit annoyed but didn't say anything further. Cut to 20 minutes later and we got out of the car and began the short 5-minute walk to Joe's friend's house. A bunch of teenagers ambushed us out of nowhere and within seconds we looked like walking rainbows and were utterly drenched. I laughed, picked up some of the kids' water balloons and chucked them at them, but Joe got incredibly mad and started screaming at the kids about how expensive his clothes were, how they ruined it and how they had reimbursed him. The kids could see he was angry but said to me in Hindi they couldn't understand what he was saying. I told Joe that, and I also told him that I had forewarned him about this and it's a very, very accepted part of the culture here. Something people do not get upset about. Joe got mad at me and told me to explain to the kids that they had to apologize and cough up the money for his clothes. I refused and Joe walked off in a huff. The party went great. It was a typical Holi bash and Joe and I immediately fit in, being already covered in water and color, and I thought all was fine now. However, when we got back to my house, Joe got really mad at me about refusing to defend him, making him feel isolated and alone in a foreign country and imposing my culture in an uncomfortable manner without respecting the fact that he's a tourist. I told him he was being unreasonable and went to bed. However, later a few of our mutual, also American friends texted me that I was being in awe about the situation. I did not think I had done anything wrong, but now I'm starting to suspect that I was in awe for not understanding and respecting that my friend might not be comfortable with such traditions and that he had spent a lot on these new Indian clothes. Relevant comment. Did you make it clear his clothes would be ruined? I made it specifically clear that whatever clothes we were wearing today would get ruined, whether at the party or on the street. Somehow, some way it would happen. Oop is voted NTA. Update. Same post. March 9, 2023. Next day. Update. So it turns out there was a lot more to the story. Quite a lot more. I kicked Joe out of my house today. He will never be part of my or my friend's life ever again. I made a group with everyone besides Joe, and as soon as I started texting them, it was clear Joe had fed them utter nonsense. He told them that I had pressured him into going shopping, telling him that wearing ethnic clothes was a necessity, and not only had I taken him to very high-end brands, I had pushed him to buy the most expensive items. I immediately clarified the situation to my friends, and that's when a much darker truth began to emerge. We are a group of about 10 friends who met at university in the States and are a very diverse group. Indians, Brazilians, Chinese, Nigerian, Spanish, American, etc. We also became friends over a shared love of traveling and committed to visiting each other's home countries after graduation. Post-graduation, we were fortunate enough to all land really high-paying jobs, and travel was the hobby we chose to use our surplus income on. The difference was Joe and Cameron, who had, let's just say, very extensive trust funds waiting for them. So while we all traveled quite a bit, it was Joe in particular who traveled the most. In fact, he has already visited most of our friends. I was the second last left. Turns out his actions were a pattern. He takes some aspect of a culture, acts on it, and then throws a scene about other aspects he doesn't like. Gets red envelopes for Chinese New Year. Has a fit about a fire phobia while lighting lanterns. Goes to Brazil for Carnival, throws a fit about being asked to dress accordingly, etc. None of us had mentioned this before to each other because the general perception had been that Joe was a good guy, well-traveled, etc., and that it was just a one-off incident. The worst part, though, this only happened with his friends of color. No issue when he went for La Tomatina or Oktoberfest. I decided to confront Joe today morning, and at first he denied, but I showed up the group messages. That is when he lost it. He went on a rant about how all non-white culture was amusing and exotic and he didn't mind it, but he hated how we always forced him into barbaric and disgusting parts of our tradition. He said that's he had an issue with, and that we were killing his love for travel and how much better our friends in Europe had been. I told him to get out of the house instantly, and when he refused, saying he had nowhere to stay, I had my driver take his luggage out. I told the rest of the group about this, and we are all equally shocked and hurt and are cutting him off entirely. To all the lovely people who commented how fun Holi sounds, please come to India in March. People would love to celebrate with you. Ooh, I remember reading the first part of this. Absolutely not surprised he was a racist asshole. Thank FK they all figured it out and were able to kick Joe out. What a jackass. Damn it. Joe, you have money. You get to travel and hang out with people of different cultures. Your friends from these cultures invite you into their homes. You have been living the dream and you act like this? You are such a disrespectful, xenophobic, racist asshole. Face with symbols on mouth. I'm glad Oop and her friends were able to figure this out, and it just sucks that so many of them had to go through that with Joe. He went on a rant about how all non-white culture was amusing and exotic, huh? Oh boy, a culture fetishist. Lord, please give me money. I will do right, I promise. Imposing my culture in an uncomfortable manner without respecting the fact that he's a tourist. Dang it. Joe, you forgot to hang a sign around your neck that reads, "I am a tourist," in all the local languages. Hi, Indian here in Holi is awesome fun, but if you are not from India, it's always good to Google the festival. Joe clearly has an inferiority complex and is racist to the boot. If he had bothered to check and listen to Op, he would have known what Holi is all about. There is absolutely no excuse for his behavior. Thank heavens he wasn't here for Diwali. Who knows what he would have set on fire. Also, Holi was on March 8th, so you guys missed it, but if anyone wants to come to India for Holi or other festivals, check out the Indian festival calendar. Y'all are always welcome here. It's amazing that this guy can go to an Oktoberfest and not see anything barbaric and disgusting. Any truly good party is a little barbaric and disgusting. Of course, he's only disgusted by these qualities viewed through a certain lens. Travel is fatal to prejudice. Apparently not always. Bro could have just traveled Europe. That's, like, fine. Anytime a person uses the word exotic versus unique, you can immediately tell what spectrum they're at. Okay, please know that I'm an idiot when it comes to traditions in other countries. Drop me in the American Idiots group if you so choose. But I have to ask, what is a Holi celebration? The reason, belief, tradition behind it. And well, everything. That sounds really fun. And I'm interested in learning about it. So, let me get this straight. Throwing water is barbaric but chucking tomatoes is culture? My biggest fear is to be reincarnated in the next life as an ignorant white trust fund baby. I hadn't heard of La Tomatina, but disgusting is a wild thing to say about colored water in lanterns when you were apparently fine at the pelting each other with tomatoes festival. Like, that also sounds fun, but it must be a hell of a shower when you're done. Like, you have to realize how absurdly racist you sound when that comparison comes up. Surely. Boutique multiculturalism at its finest. Wait. Are you telling me a rich white American male is secretly a racist asshole? No way. That never happens. I grew up in the rural South USA, and even I know about Holi and the color bombs. I mean, it's pretty much where the idea of color runs here in the US got the whole idea from. That's the equivalent of going and standing in the road during the running of the bulls and being mad you for gored or trampled. What did he expect to happen? And he was warned. Does he choose in advance what he's going to get pissy about, or just decide once something happens? Or is asked of him? Holi sounds pretty awesome. Entire cities going crazy like elementary school kids having a field day. Am I the only one confused as to why the friends immediately thought oop was ta when Joe already pulled a similar stunt on most of them? Wouldn't they be suspicious immediately?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. EpicAriaCast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.